The cost of the official building of the vice president is in the news. We're looking at the 2024 national budget, and you also being quite well knit with academia. I am personally concerned about the budget to the educational sector. I'm also concerned about the budget to the health sector. But here we are, 15.5 billion for an official residence, and your candidate, Peter Obi, has tried foul and says this is wasted. But we also have the vice president saying, dancing public is making noise about nothing. Somewhere in that report, he points out to the fact that the former President Jonathan, had actually gazetted it to be done. So this government is only implementing
what Jonathan
so they cannot be called the perpetrators of any evil if it is evil.
Well, my brother, assuming without considering that Jonathan ever gazetted that, do they remember that Jonathan gazetted the report of the National Reform Conference? Do you remember the several things that Jonathan gazetted on agriculture? The several things they took steps which they have abandoned. The problem is, I feel for people like Stanley Wankwo, the pressmen who, because just like the other day I was listening to something, what was his name, Additional, was saying, I pitied them. Once I had to do an article against Ruben Abati, when he was virtually denying Jonathan because of a bill that Jonathan signed, the same-sex marriage. So maybe some of them have no conviction in the office, they're just doing things to survive. But we are talking about a nation that is going under. A nation that Stanley Wankwo, I'm talking about not his vice, because those ones are beyond touch now. This a nation that, of course, the vice president didn't tell him to use the kind of gutter language using against P2B. I know that one. But in time to show himself very relevant. A nation that his children are ashamed of being part of. His own children. Shettima children, they are ashamed of being part of this country. Because you don't need to go far. Just go outside, go to Benin Republic. One of Shenka say he discovered Africa and Europe. Go to Benin Republic, you discover Nigeria. Go to Ghana, you discover Nigeria. Not talk about going outside this country, outside this continent. And it is not, you don't discover Nigeria, we don't have big building. No. People, you discover Nigeria with all you come out of a big building, you have no road. You come out of a big building, you are using generator. But you go to those countries, they are having small buildings. We once went to a conference in Ethiopia. The Supreme Court of Ethiopia, small, relatively small size place. But I tell you my brother, everything you needed to do, or every modern gadget that's needed to for proper dispensation just was in that Supreme Court. But in Nigeria, we have a gigantic Supreme Court structure. I've been to US Supreme Court building. It's not up to the size of our Supreme Court here.
So a quick question, because of our time.
But we are not doing what we should do. The same thing, I built a big building for the vice president. 15 billion.